Something happened this week in NASCAR that honestly puts everything into perspective. And I'm just going to say it straight. This isn't about horsepower. This isn't about playoff points. This is about something way bigger than racing. Because while most drivers are locked in on the next race, chasing wins, chasing championships, one driver stepped into a place that changes you the second you walk through the gates. Ross Chastain didn't just show up for a media appearance, he walked into Arlington National Cemetery. And what happened next? Yeah, it hit different. Stick with me, because this moment might tell us more about the mindset of this team heading into the Coca-Cola 600 than anything we've seen on track this season. And hey, real quick, if you're a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. All right, here's the thing. Every year, the defending winner of the Coca-Cola 600 gets one of the most prestigious honors in all of motorsports, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. That's not just a ceremony. That's tradition. That's responsibility. And Ross Chastain, he walked into that moment for the first time this week, and you could feel how much it meant. He described it as stepping into a different world. Think about that for a second. This is a guy who's raced at 190 miles per hour, who's pulled off one of the craziest last-to-first victories we've ever seen, and this is what made his hands shake. Over 400,000 fallen Americans are buried there. 30 funerals every single day. And suddenly, racing doesn't feel so big anymore. Chastain didn't just show up, lay a wreath and leave. He walked the grounds. He visited memorials, including the astronauts lost in the Columbia and Challenger disasters. He stood at the grave of Audie Murphy, one of the most decorated soldiers in World War II. And then came the moment, the tomb, the changing of the guard, the silence, and the sound of taps. I'm just going to say it straight. That's the kind of moment that stays with you forever. Chastain admitted he was more nervous for that walk than for a Cup Series race. Let that sink in. Clammy hands, sweating, trying to stay in perfect sync with the guard. Because in that moment, it's not about you. It's about respect. It's about precision. It's about honoring something that is bigger than any sport. And even Trackhouse owner Justin Marks said it hit him hard. He called racing inconsequential in that moment. Not meaningless, but small compared to the sacrifices being honored. And honestly, that kind of perspective can change a team. Now let's talk about why this matters for NASCAR, and especially for Trackhouse Racing. Because here's the reality, this team has been struggling. Chastain is sitting 18th in points, only 2 top 5s across all 3 drivers in 10 races. For a team that had momentum, that's a rough start to 2026. They've been behind the 8 ball, no question. But moments like this, they can reset you. They can refocus you. Marks even said it himself, this experience could put wind in their sails heading into Charlotte. And here's where it gets interesting. The Coca-Cola 600 isn't just another race. It's a crown jewel. It's the race tied to Memorial Day weekend. And now, you've got the defending winner coming off one of the most emotional, humbling experiences of his life, heading back to defend that victory. That's not just motivation, that's fuel. And maybe the most powerful part of all this? It wasn't the ceremony, it wasn't the spotlight, it was his family. Chastain brought his grandparents from a small farming town in Florida all the way to Arlington, people who had never flown like that, never taken Ubers. And now they're standing there watching him take part in one of the most meaningful traditions in American sports. That's the kind of full circle moment you can't script. From watermelon fields to one of the most sacred places in the country. That's not just a racing story, that's a life story. So now I've got to ask you, does a moment like this actually change a driver and a team heading into a race like the Coca-Cola 600? Or when the green flag drops, does all of that emotion disappear? Can Ross Chastain turn this into momentum and shock everyone again? Or is Trackhouse still too far behind right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear this debate. And if you're riding with real NASCAR fans who care about the story behind the sport, make sure you like, subscribe, and join us here at NASCAR Nation News, because this season, it's just getting started.